Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Welcome back to the Revert Radio Show. Revert Show on YouTube, Revert Show on Facebook. As we start our shows every time by the name of Allah, the Most High, the Most Merciful, the Especially Merciful. This is another episode of the Revert Show, meeting with a brother, close friend, family friend, Brother Mohammad Almasmary. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hayyak Allah.
Nice to see you.
We go way back. Me and this guy, his brothers, his family, mashallah. Grew up, knowing each other. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. It's been a long time coming. Alhamdulillah. I knew this guy when he was a little baby. Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Today, we're going to be talking about a few different things. Mostly, we're going to be talking about technology and how technology plays a big role today in our, let's say, youth life, in our lives in general. And it works amazingly with da'wah. Using technology is nothing wrong with it. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it happen for our ease of mind and to make our lives easier. Alhamdulillah. First of all, we want to get introduced to Brother Muhammad, have him introduce himself to everybody, and then we'll go further, inshallah.
Thank you for everything you're doing in the Revert Show. My name is Mohammad Almasmary. I am the Imam of the Muslim Unity Center. I have been serving at the center for about 9 years. I graduated in Yemen, studying Islamic sciences and Islamic law, and we're blessed to be serving.
Alhamdulillah.
And just sitting with people, counseling people, and showing people what Islam is all about.
Alhamdulillah, amazing, man. You got all types of people that come through here. You even got non-Muslims come through here asking questions and stuff.
Alhamdulillah, we're blessed. We one of the first things that we made sure at the center is that it's a welcoming center.
Nice.
Anyone that wants to come in and ask questions, we have students that come in from different colleges. We have professors that attend Jumu'ah, because my firm belief that Islam is a universal message. In the Quran, you find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala began by saying, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of the world. So it shows you it is a universal message. It is, the first call that Allah mentioned in Quran is, O people, not O those who believe.
Ya ayyuhan nas,
So,
yeah.
Ya ayyuhan nas, u'budu rabbakum. So, and this is what we try to do to make sure that we're a community that welcomes others, because it's rooted in our tradition. It's not something that we've introduced or innovated. It's something that you find within our prophetic tradition that
MashaAllah
has done long ago.
And that's beautiful. A lot of people don't understand that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was sent to all humanity,
Yes.
all mankind, the black, the white, the Christian, the Jew, everybody.
Exactly.
And unlike other prophets who were sent to different tribes, Musa alayhi salam was sent to Banu Israel. Sayyidina Zakaria, Sayyidina Isa, all the prophets were sent to specific people. But the special thing about Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that he was sent to everybody. So if you are a non-Muslim who's listening or watching right now, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to you, and he had a message for you, and you have to go out there and check out what that message is, or come to the masjid and ask, what is the message that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has for me? And this is also another thing that we also a lot of times mention on the show, that the masajid is not like a hidden thing where we have some hidden agendas inside there where, we can't let you see what we're doing. It's an open book. Transparency. We're here for you to come in. You want to ask us questions, you want to check us out every daily prayer and see what we're doing, you're welcome to do that.
And it changes people's perspective of how they look at the masjid. You have many people that walking through the doors, maybe expecting the masjid to be in a different color, expecting different acts of worship happening, maybe us mumming or saying certain words, to find the masjid filled with youth. That a lot of religious institutions suffer in terms of youth participation.
That's true.
When you come to masajid, you find many youth that are there, that are dedicated, that are praying. For example, in Ramadan, maybe our suhoor is over 50% was youth.
MashaAllah.
Our breakfast, before we engage in the fasting. So we're blessed, and when people come in, it just gives them a different way of understanding what Islam is and how we try our best to embody Islam and Islamic character, and that truly opens the hearts of people. We don't want people to always come in with the intention of we wanting them to accept Islam. We want them to understand it to begin with, of how we live our Islam, and allow that to be that information to be something that affects one's emotions and connection.
MashaAllah. That's amazing, man. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So let's talk about the technology that we say we're going to be talking about, inshallah ta'ala. Technology in today's age is like something, at least for youth, they can't let go of. Before, let's say when we were younger, even the flip phones weren't around. I remember when we were going to that Chicago madrasa, and there was a doctor that used to come. His son was with us in the school, and he had that first phone, that phone with the big bag next to him, and he would carry it around and show off with it. I'm like, oh my God, what is that?
Nothing like today.
Subhanallah, nothing like today.
That's true.
Today, phones is like mini computers in your pocket, in your palm. You're looking at everything in the world, the good and the bad. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of technology that you see today?
Of course, there's a lot of advantages. The idea of you being able to communicate with the world. Language and communication is the only way for us to build bridges.
That's right.
And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ. That every prophet that was sent by the tongue of his people. Why? Because this language allowed them to communicate. And the language here, it wasn't only Hebrew or Arabic, it's anything that allows the message to be received.
To get across.
Anything to get across. So social media is that platform nowadays. So so there are many blessings, but those blessings also come with a set of responsibilities, because there's a good and the bad. And the number of accountability, or the level of accountability, continues just to increase.
Right.
And it just continues to escalate, because it's not easy. Before, you would have someone that would see what you're doing, one person or two. Now you're exposing yourself to 1,000 or two.
That's right.
Which adds more to the challenges. There's one companion that, to be honest, if you look at his life, he didn't have much to offer.
Allah.
Okay, and this companion, to show you, in one battle, clearly mentioned that he will not stand by the men, for he was too weak and afraid, and he stayed among the children and the women. And when one of the enemies came in and realized that there were only women, one amazing Sahabiya, Safiya radiallahu anha, she told him, go out and defend us, because this man is now realizing there's only women in this building.
Right. So he's going to take advantage.
He's going to take advantage, and they're going to just take over the place. And there's women and children, and they're going to take them as prisoners of war.
Right.
And that could have destroyed the Madani community, the Prophet's community. And he rejected. He said, I can't. Why? He was too afraid, and he was too old, and he didn't know how to conduct himself in war. Allah. And this man is named Hassan ibn Thabit.
Wow.
The companion that was the greatest source of information when it comes to poetry in Islam. He was the poet of the Prophet, peace be upon him. When the Prophet would need a poet to get up and defend and to speak on behalf of Islam, we're talking about Islam, and defending and speaking on behalf of the Prophet, he would say, Qum ya Hassan, may Allah be pleased with you, and may Allah assist you in this in your poetry. But so it shows you that he was the mouthpiece of Islam. And this was the form of social media that he needed, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we continue to commemorate the legacy of Hassan, not for anything else that he did, but the advantage of him being able to communicate with the Arabs.
Allah. Specifically at that time, the Arabs were poets
were masters in language.
Yeah, every word counted.
Exactly.
When they spoke, man, it's a piece of art. So
it shows you the responsibility that, even though he wasn't able to do other things, but when it came to this, he was the point person. He was the main spokesperson for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Subhanallah.
So it just shows you how important these platforms are. that you may not know a lot of people, you may not be a person of influence, but Allah gives you this avenue of social media that is considered a blessing. So utilizing it in a way that pleases Allah is something to be considered as you proceed with all of this.
Yes. Alhamdulillah, and social media today, subhanAllah, if without it, let's say social media is not there, and you want to reach the numbers that social media reaches, you'll probably take a lifetime to reach it. You probably won't reach the numbers that social media specifically reaches. We're talking about like YouTube and Facebook in particular, reaching 2 billion people. How many years would you need to reach 2 billion people? Or at least half of that?
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So you can reach that amount of people in good, and you can reach that amount of people in bad.
In evil, yes.
In evil. You know, the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he spoke about man sanna sunnatan hasana, those whom introduce a good act, and those whom introduce a bad deed.
Yes.
You know, so you get the rewards of anyone that was introduced to that good through you. Any action they may do, anything, any good avenues they may take, or the change of life they decide to embrace, you get the reward for that.
That's right.
But on the other side, that if you introduce that which is wrong, or you publicize the wrong that you engage in, then you get the sin for anyone that was introduced to that sin through you, and anyone that may commit it to the day of judgment.
Allahu Akbar.
So again, it's a double-edged sword to understand there's good, but there's also accountability.
Exactly. And nowadays, what's viral really is what is considered to be crazy and off the hook. Yeah. Things that, you know, people do just to amuse people, and they go viral, but they don't understand that second point that you mentioned, which if they did something that is hurtful or that is wrong or that is evil, and everybody that wanna take that trend and follow, that one person is gonna actually get all the sins.
Exactly.
Subhanallah.
I remember one time my teacher said something that just made me realize of, you know, how to navigate through all these challenges. And he was talking about how many people have become Muslims, how we speak about Islam, and then he said, I want you to pay attention to one thing. I said, what is it? I thought he was gonna, you know, praise us in a way. You know, you want to impress your teacher. Exactly. You want to impress your parents and your teachers that, you know, you've done a good job.
Yeah.
He said, just always remember how many people have you turned away from the masjid.
Oh, Allahu Akbar.
You know, how many people have you turned away from Islam by your character? He says, so don't think that you've been doing all this work, because there's people that you have accepted, and there's people that you've rejected, either through your behavior or words, and Allah will ask you about that.
Allahu Akbar.
So it just makes you realize that, you know, it's
careful.
A blessing,
yeah.
But with this blessing, you know, comes a set of responsibilities.
Allahu Akbar. That's beautiful, man. Jazakallah khair. Yo, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to follow up this beautiful conversation, inshallah ta'ala, with my brother, my boy, Mohammad Almasmary. Be right back. Do you know what time it is? It's time to get that refund check you've been waiting for all year long. But one thing's for sure, you want to make sure your taxes are done by the experts. That's why I do my taxes with Expert Accounting and Tax Services. Expert Accounting is dedicated to providing clients with professional, personalized services and guidance. You can rest assured that their services are of the highest quality and that you will receive expert personal attention. Call Expert Accounting now at 313-581-8210. That's 313-581-8210 to schedule your free tax analysis appointment. As a professional Michigan firm, they'll find the mistakes and missed opportunities that may be costing you thousands in taxes and get you the most on your refund check. Call them now. 313-581-8210.
An important message from NEU Urgent Care and Addiction Medicine Clinic, located in the city of Hazel Park, Michigan. Many injuries and illnesses simply cannot wait for appointments to free up. That's why Dr. Mohammad G. Saleh, MD and DC at NEU Urgent Care offers convenient walk-in visits and expanded evening and weekend hours. When it comes to your health, you want the specialists to diagnose it and treat it properly. Board certified in addiction treatment, primary care, urgent care, and many more services that concern your health. Call them now for a free consultation and diagnosis at 248-206-5564. That's 248-206-5564. Or visit them directly at 624 East 9 Mile Road, Hazel Park, Michigan 48030. That's 1 block east of John R. Road. They accept all types of insurances. And EU Urgent Care, where care comes first. نتحدث اللغة العربية.
So we're back, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, talking to Brother Muhammad about this beautiful topic, how technology is affecting our lives and how technology has become something that's very important in our lives almost. Some people can't get enough of it. Some people can't get rid of it. Some people can't get their eyes off of it. They say there's an average of 200 sometimes that you actually grab your phone every day to check your notifications, check messages, check your Facebook, check your Twitter account, check any of these accounts that's out there. And every moment, man, every minute, a new software is coming out, a new platform's coming out for you to add more stuff, to add more videos, to go viral, to send a new message, to play a new game. And one thing that we mentioned last, and Brother Muhammad mentioned it over the hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man sanna sunnatan hasanatan," whoever started a good act, a good deed, and people see him or her, and they repeat what he or she did, then they will get a good reward, and he will get the same reward that they got as well. But this is also true for the people who introduce to the community or to the platform a sin, something crazy, some sinful act that people will repeat and do exactly as he did or she did. Then that sin that they collected from this action will go to him as well as they do. So be careful. Looking and being on these platforms is a double, double-edged sword that we can't be playing around with. We have to be very careful. And that's bringing us to getting information from these platforms. You know, it's not books. We're typing in one keyword and we getting millions of information. What do we do about that? What's the deal?
So getting Islamic information from the web is like getting scientific facts from Wikipedia.
There you go.
Nice. It's the same thing. You can't go to a class and just say, I have a scientific fact and my research was based on Wikipedia.
Just like that.
You'll fail the class immediately.
Right, you don't get no credit for it. Wikipedia?
No credit for that at all, yeah. So it's the same thing. The idea that it's an open platform that everyone has access to. Mm-hmm. There's people that have tried to translate the Quran in different ways. There's apps that are called Quran Majid apps, and the translation was mistranslated. So of course there's a lot of Islamophobes. Keep in mind that you're talking about billions, hundreds of billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of Islamophobic organizations that are just spreading this message of Islamophobia and fear and false information, then accusations against the Prophet and Islam and some Muslims are some crazy people. So, and the idea that you're getting your source from that, people that have influence in the search process itself, I think is, first of all, it's unacademic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're trying to get yourself in academic conversation, you're just failing from the starting point.
That's right.
So reaching out to people that you feel may have basic information, people that can guide you through that process, that can show you what websites that, you know, we've embraced and we feel to be legitimate, and they're different topics and different questions. There's different platforms.
That's right.
So just to reach out to the right source, like anything else. For science, you ask a scientist. For math, you ask a mathematician, and for Islam, you ask an imam.
Just like looking for a good doctor for you and your family.
Same thing.
Yeah. Good medicine. You look at ingredients of your food. Every time you buy something, you look at every detail of the ingredients. You want to check, make sure all this stuff is healthy and it's not gonna, cause you any harm. So same thing with the web. It's very critical to look around and search and do research. And also another thing that people like to follow one website and website only, and khalas, everything that they get is that one source. Is it something that should be done, or should we have more than one source to pick out of, just like having more than one sheikh to pick out of, just like having more than one teacher to learn from?
So Islamically, and going back to our history, this wasn't embraced by the mashayikh that we're going back to.
Uh-huh.
That's the thing that we don't understand. The mashayikh that we go back to were ones that refuted this idea of just coming to me.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like you're going against the person that you admire, and by sticking to one person.
That's right.
And it's very important to know that person, regardless, was catering to his community and his understanding, or her community or her understanding. And Imam bin Qutayba and other big ulama, Ibn al-Qayyim, would always say, they would refer to the local scholars. A local scholar here, again, we're all students of knowledge, but the idea is that we may know what people know not.
Uh-huh.
If I don't know, I know for sure right now, even though I consider myself a student of knowledge, that for sure I can guide someone to where they can get the answer. That's what makes me qualified.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make you qualified that you have to know everything, because we're still studying.
Exactly.
But I know for sure if you come up to me with something, I'll guide you to where you can get the answer you're seeking.
The safe source,
the safe source, the people, and that's what makes you a legitimate imam, is that you know who to connect with. If you're going to ask me about inheritance and I may not know the answer, I'll make sure that you get the answer through credible sources.
Right, trusted
sources. That's what
sources.
makes me qualified.
Uh-huh.
Because sometimes you have people that either overpraise themselves by saying we're the greatest scholars, which then leads to arrogance.
Yeah.
Or you have people that just say, I'm just a student of knowledge, and then
don't ask me nothing.
Yeah,
right.
Which makes me like everyone else.
Uh-huh.
So it means there's no point of me leading the community.
Exactly.
So that's why reaching out to someone that you feel is qualified, and the qualifications here are not only based upon the memorizing all the books of hadith, because you have people that just say, who is he? He doesn't know all these ahadith.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know that I can lead you to someone that may know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes me qualified.
That's right. Alhamdulillah. So picking more than one source of information is solid, is something that you have to do. You can't just say, I just look at one source and that's it.
Yes.
This is not good. And that's what I learned also from experience. Mm-hmm. You have mashayikh, alhamdulillah, you have teachers, and we're all humans. We all make mistakes. And the only way to find out the mistakes of one person is to hear the information from another person.
Mm-hmm. And some things don't change. Like when it comes to theology, if you're telling me that I accept, mathalan, the Athari or the Ash'ari theology, whatever, these are different Islamic theologies, or different. They're the same, but just some differences within interpretations. But of course, they worship one God. The idea is that doesn't change with the change of time.
Uh-huh.
So to come and say we need a 21st century aqidah is innovation.
Of course.
So you can go back to those sources, to our old books, and to use those sources as your main sources. But when it comes to fiqh is always changing.
Yeah.
The changing of time, challenges.
Place, people.
So the idea to be open and to reach out to people that are well qualified in our times to have ijtihad. You have people in the 21st century that may not have agreed with people in the early Islam.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about even some of them maybe didn't agree with some of the tabi'een and the four scholars. So the idea of just saying I'm just going to stick to those people also is, so you have to open up when it comes to certain rulings, because the change of time and place really plays but we never compromise on general principles.
Exactly.
We're still firm on that.
That's
and
right.
Most of that has to go back to the foundations of Islam, or the theology, or the creed of Islam, which we remain firm on.
Right. So basically, bottom line is, the Islam that the Prophet Muhammad had, as far as the foundation of Islam, like the aqidah, who we worship, how we pray, the creed of Islam is the same. It's the same foundation, never changes, not with time, not with place, not with nothing. But as far as the fiqh is Well, how do you define fiqh in
law.
English? Just the law. There you go.
So we know
the legislation.
We know we have to pray.
Exactly.
Okay, they never had planes back then.
That's right.
So this is when fiqh comes and facilitates the whole thing.
When planes were founded, yeah.
Okay, what happened? How do you do it? When do you do it? The change of time. They
Exactly.
never had it back then.
Mm-hmm.
To them, they never had to deal with the idea that I'm praying now and suddenly I'm in California where it's Asr time, but I left Maghrib. Like there's some.
Exactly.
So that's when fiqh comes in. But Islam tells you have to pray.
That's right.
That's the foundation. So you can't say in the 21st century, since it's harder to pray because we have busy schedules, we compromise. You say, no, you're sinned.
You have to pray.
So the fiqh has nothing to do with changing prayer and the time of prayer. But then there's some, logistical questions that people may have. This is when fiqh comes in and facilitates the whole.
And that, subhanAllah, is also derived from the hadith of the Dajjal. The Prophet ﷺ said, and when he said that the Dajjal is going to come in 40 days, and one of the 40 days is like a whole year.
Yes.
And then one of the Sahaba said,
how are we gonna pray?
if it's a whole year, how are we going to pray? Look how they were thinking, subhanAllah.
Yeah.
They were thinking about their worship, their everyday thing. Like, how are we going to pray if it's a whole year? One day is a whole year. So the Prophet ﷺ said, قَدِّرُوا لَهَا, or something like that.
Based on estimation.
Yeah, estimate it according to the norms.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And same thing with today. Today we have to estimate things. We have to look at things differently as far as the law and the sharia of fiqh. You know what I'm saying? Just like he said, praying on a ship or praying in an airplane, which was not done before. Even though the Prophet ﷺ prayed on a horse or on a camel, as the camel was traveling, praying at places where the sun stays up for like 6 months in different places in the world.
Also for medical reasons.
Medical reasons as well.
What invalidates your fasting, certain procedures, what happens. They never had all this. So this
exactly. Subhanallah.
There's a long list that people can talk about, but that changes with the change of time.
And that's why you should also seek the fatwa and the knowledge of your local ulama, your local scholars as well, for things that are locally considered locally. Things that are universal, of course, we have, alhamdulillah, we have the books, we have these things. Also consider your local imam or local scholars. But things that are local, like as far as marriage and stuff like that, and the courts here in America, you can't be calling somebody over in Saudi Arabia or in Jordan or Egypt to try to ask them, yo, is this what I should do? Is this legit or whatever? You need to ask somebody who knows the contracts here in America.
A long list. You can't always take the fatwa of people from overseas.
That's right.
Because they lack the understanding of what we struggle with. And so we have to be very clear with that and very, very firm. And keep in mind that some of their fatwas are based on a question that was presented to them.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean they said it is right.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you an example. When someone asked one scholar about McDonald's, and he said, it's okay. He doesn't know the method of slaughter. He doesn't know here in America. Uh-huh. So it has nothing to do with his scholarship, because his is based on evidence, but the lack of understanding of what we know here that he knows not.
Mm-hmm.
But people tell who are you to say he's wrong? So I say he's right. Uh-huh. But he still lacks the understanding of what we know. The
process and the procedure that we know about. And in defense to that, wallahi, I've asked a sheikh back home. His name is Mashhur Hassan. I gotta call him out. He's my people. He was asked about the process of divorce here in America. And, the person asked him, this and this happened. He said, before you continue your question, bring me the contract. Let me read it, translate it, know exactly what it has inside of it, and then I can give you the fatwa. And he was actually looking at what we're talking right now. He said, let me feel like I'm local there to understand the procedure and the process of what divorce is for you guys, and then I can give you the fatwa. Otherwise, I can't give you the fatwa because I'm not from there. You know what I'm saying?
And I'll give you another example. Some people that have spoken about praying sitting down on the plane.
That's true.
Okay. So forget about on the camel, because he would only pray sunnah on that.
Sahih, you're right. Only sunnah.
Not the obligatory prayers. So the obligatory prayers, you have to stand up. If you look at the writings, and I've done this personally, of the scholars that are the modern day scholars, they always spoke about the Saudi Airlines.
Uh-huh.
There's a small prayer in the back. You have to.
There's a small spot in the back. Right,
we know that there's a prayer in the back. We have to pray standing up.
Exactly.
But and to them, a lot of them, the duration of their flights were short flights.
Very short, 5 hours,
yeah.
4 hours.
So for them, they say either pray before or after.
Sahih.
You know, whatever works. You know, when it comes to the prayer of timing, either you know, where you combine earlier or you combine later. But when you tell them I have a 16-hour flight, and I can't get up, you get it. So this requires no fiqh. I can't always stick to people that had limited experience, where everything was, you know, accommodating, you know, to them. So it doesn't mean that we're promoting just go ahead and sit down, but the idea that I understand what you may face on a plane in the absence of being allowed to stand up and pray.
SubhanAllah.
You get what I mean? So it gives you a different mindset than say you have to, and if you don't, you're sinned. Yeah. Because when I traveled, I had a place to pray. You know, so again, this has something to do with life experience. It's mostly them as human beings. It has more to do with that than them being scholars.
That's right.
Because their experience was a bit limited to what we've explored and experienced.
And this is subhanAllah technology also in general, because technology is, you know, the planes, the cars, all those things, you know, the computers, the phones, your cameras, your watches, everything is technology. And all that has to do with the fiqh that has to do with these new products or these new things that are entered into our lives. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is the time for us. Unfortunately, I would love to go on and on with these conversations, subhanAllah ta'ala. But we are limited to 30 minutes. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We'd love to go further with different conversations in the future, inshallah ta'ala, with Brother Muhammad and so many other brothers like him, inshallah, in these communities out here in Detroit. We thank you very much for tuning in. We thank you very much for watching and being a part of this beautiful channel, this beautiful community, the Revert community. We ask you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like our pages on Facebook or Instagram. Go to the website, revertworld.com. That's revertworld.com. And holla at us. Give us your comments, feedback, questions, whatever it is that you have. We welcome all of them, inshallah ta'ala. Thank you, Brother Muhammad, for being with us. Really appreciate that.
Always nice.
Jazakallah khair. And we'll be back to you, inshallah ta'ala, with the next episode, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Take care of yourself. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace.